San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Our match commentators are John Madden and Pat Summerall.
Boom, he just took 2 divots out of there, and he couldn't make that cutback.
There are some very slippery spots on it. I was down on the field just a few minutes ago, and as you point out, in the middle, where most of the playing is done, that's the worst part. Montana back. Incomplete, intended for Roger Craig, had a hand on it and lost it when he was hit by Kevin Green.
Hey, you know, one of the first things you start off with the Rams on defense, one of your first goals is to stop that first 49er drive. I don't think there's any team in football that's better at the first drive than the San Francisco 49ers.
That's one of those scripted things that you've heard about for so long when Bill Walsh was here, and now under George Seifert, though not to that degree, not as many plays. That's Leroy Irvin back to return Barry Helton's punt. Just got it out of there. Irvin. Midfield. Knocked backwards by Keith DeLong. A 36-yard punt. Jim Everett. He too, like Montana, a spectacular year. In front of him, one of the best offensive lines in pro football. Panky, Newberry, Smith, Love, Slater, and Damone Johnson, the tight end. Bell and Buford McGee and Willie Anderson and Henry Ellard are his offensive weapons.
Hey, he sure looks cool for the first play anyway, Jim Everett, huh?
He does. Pass complete. That's to Willie Anderson, the flipper. The 49er defense. Here's Hope, Pete Kugler, and Kevin Fagan in front. The 4 linebackers, Haley Millen, Michael Walter, and Tina Turner. In the secondary, Pollard and Griffin in the corners, Lott, Brooks the safety. First and 10 Rams at the San Francisco 36. Greg Bell to about the 34, a gain of 2. Michael Walter made the stop.
You know, Pat, it probably doesn't mean anything, but I sure like the way that Jim Everett walked up to the line of scrimmage on that first play. He looked like John Wayne or something, the old gunslinger walking up there. And I think that it's so easy to tighten up in a big game that when you can get that type of thing, I think it's a big plus.
I was talking to him when I was down on the field. Everett, he said, "You got everything you need?" I said, "I think so." He said, "How you feel?" I said, "I feel fine. How about you?" He said, "I feel terrific." To Henry Ellard, out of bounds. A pickup of 12, stopped by Don Griffin.
Now, these are the guys that can start. We talked about being a streak passer, and he has great pass protection. That's what it starts off with. Look at that pass protection. Ellard just runs it out. I think the receivers are going to have an advantage all day today because of that slippery turf on the outside.
And that was Griffin that slipped that time.
And look at the protection here. See, they gave Everett the time he needed.
First and 10 Rams at the 49er 22. Everett to work again. Here comes the blitz. Successfully hurried Everett as he tried to dump it off to Bell. Haley put on the pressure. George Seifert.
There's a guy who's done a heck of a job with this 49er team coming in here and replacing Bill Walsh. I think he had one advantage in that he had been here a number of years and that he was a part of building this team, part of building the defense.
It'll bring up second and 10. Holohan was the motion man. Bell. Stopped by Fagan, picked up 3.
You know, here's the area that we were talking about earlier, is that red zone, and it's the area that both teams have had trouble against the other team. That 20-yard line. That 20-yard line in. And fact, I think it's ironic today as I look down there at the field, Pat, the 20-yard line yard marker is painted in red.
This is that zone, as you point out, where they've had problems. 3rd and 7. Everett outside to Buford McGee, and McGee gets enough for a first down. Stopped by Romanowski. Inside the 10 to about the 9.5.
I'll tell you, I think he could have hit Ron Brown on the cross. He throws it out to McGee, but watch 89, Ron Brown coming across here. He's open too, but he threw it to the shorter guy, McGee. Then Ron Brown was right there, boom, to get the block for McGee to let him get the first down.
It's 1st and goal, just inside the 10. Bell was the lone setback. They start Holohan in motion. Everett. Ellert was the closest Ram, but it was nowhere close to him.
I was talking to John Robinson the other day. He told me his biggest concern in this game was not being able to move the ball, but being able to move the ball and then not getting it in when they get down there.
Everett's 3 out of 5 in this drive. Bell on 2nd down to about the 6. Picked up 3. Matt Millen made the stop.
Now the Rams are coming in with their 4 wide receivers, so even though you're down towards the 5-yard line, this is still a passing down, and probably the toughest area to pass on the field because you only have 15 yards of depth. A good way to beat this is by using crossing pattern.
3rd and goal from the 6. 4 wide receivers. Everett just threw it away. Henry Ellard was close. The pressure was put on Everett. Michael Walter, the linebacker.
That was the thing that concerned John Robinson and both sides not being able to get in. Michael Walter gave the blitz and the pressure on Everett, but to be honest, there was no one open in the end zone for him to throw to.
So Mike Lansford with Pete Holohan holding will try to barefoot a field goal from 23 yards out. And the Rams break on top. 9:38 left in the first quarter. And it's the Rams 3, the 49ers nothing.
Match commentators.
The Rams scoring drive, 10 plays, they kept it. 3 minutes, 41 seconds. Lansford's 23-yard field goal makes it 3-0. The NFC Championship game. The winner to play the Denver Broncos in 2 weeks in New Orleans. Pat Summerall with John Madden, and we'll be there. Lansford to kick it off. Flagler and Tillman deep for the 49ers. It's going to be Spencer Tillman at about the 14. Out to about the 30. 16-yard return. Ram injured on the play. Mark Messner was the man down. He made the tackle on the opening kickoff.
You know, here, watch Lansford as he kicks off. You see that plant foot slip? I think if they're going to have problems in the slip, and it's going to be in that middle area where he had it between the hash marks. And, of course, that could come back in this game to be a problem, that kicking.
Especially on field goals from that region of the field. Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And then they put down something that looks like very thick sand. Surface to absorb some of the moisture. 3-0. Over on the Los Angeles sideline. That's a picture of pain. 1st and 10, San Francisco at their own 30. The Rams lead it 3-0. Craig left side to the secondary. 1st down, San Francisco. James Washington made the stop, a pickup of 13 for Craig.
Well, the 49ers went to 2 tight ends, only 1 back in the backfield. That was Roger Craig. And they ran that old counter tray that everyone's running now. Of course, when you have Craig running it, that gives you another dimension. Watch him. He's going to take a counter step to his right, let his O-guard and O-tackle get in front of him, and then high step it through the hole.
Again, 2 tight ends. This is Rathman. And he gets close to midfield. Picked up 6.
There's a guy who stays fired up, Tom Rathman. You know, that doesn't make any difference. Playing football to him is just playing. It's running, it's blocking, it's catching, it's doing all those things. And he doesn't have that big ego like he has to have the ball. He's as happy to make a block and have a Craig make a run as he is make the run himself.
2nd and 4. Rathman the lone setback. Walls is the man in motion. Montana looking to Rice. And got him. And Rice got a 1st down. Stopped by Strickland.
This is what the 49ers want to do now. Start to get in that rhythm. That rhythm isn't all just passing. That rhythm is a mixture of run and pass, anything to keep moving the ball up the field.
Rice came out. Wilson went in to take his place. Taylor goes left. Wilson comes right.
Like Rice had something in his eyes.
Yeah. Montana again. Rhythm. Caught by Brent Jones, the tight end, a fumble. And another fumble, and the Rams come up with it. Larry Kelm made the recovery.
And that's the thing that will kill rhythm, is either a good defensive play or any kind of turnover. Look at Brent Jones. Sometimes that happens, you know, and as a coach, you hate to see it because all he's doing, Brent Jones was fighting for extra yardage. So you can't tell a guy, don't fight for extra yardage. But in doing so, more and more times you see that second guy come in and strip the ball out.
McIntyre picked the ball up after Jones lost it, and then Kelm made the recovery after McIntyre lost it. Buford McGee, left side to about the 35. Pickup of 2. Stopped by Keena Turner.
Here's a reverse angle that last play. This is the 2nd time in the game that Montana started on a sprint. Watch, he sprints to his right, kind of slips and falls down himself, then throws back to his tight end. And seeing it, trying to get that extra yard, that's when the ball got knocked out. You said then McIntyre, an old guard, has it. Heck, he fumbles it too.
2nd and 8 for the Rams. Their own 35-yard line. Everett Holohan into 49er territory. Brought down by Ronnie Lott and Michael Walter.
That's the guy they have to watch. That's what the 49ers were talking about in the passing game. This is the guy, Pete Holohan. Chet Brooks says they got Damone Johnson's their tight end, but when Pete Holohan comes in the game, he's the guy Jim Everett looks to.
In their first 2 meetings this year, as in almost every game we've seen, the turnovers are the determining factor. Everett, straight back.
we can see this more and more. We talked about it last week, how Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator of the Rams, every day in practice, he just stands there with Jim Everett and says, let it go, let it go, let it go, meaning get rid of the ball. There's Ernie Zampese. He's this guy right here. I think that he is probably the top offensive brain in football today.
The amazing thing about him, about Ernie, is he is perfectly happy where he is. He doesn't want to be a head coach.
But if I were an owner, I would hire Ernie Zampese as a head coach.
They fake the reverse to run. Brown, they have a man wide open. Ronnie Lott, what a recovery. Willie Anderson was wide open, and Ronnie Lott came from nowhere to break it up.
And that was the guy they were trying to get, Ronnie Lott, because they were going to fake the reverse. And what they said is when they faked the reverse, Ronnie Lott and Chet Brooks would run up. We saw Chet Brooks, a strong safety, come, but they didn't fake Ronnie Lott out. And he comes all the way over from the free safety to make that play.
That's one heck of a play by Ronnie Lott. A lot of people thought he might have lost a step. But last week and this week, he's proven that he's still got whatever he had.
That was a big play. That was a play that the Rams were holding to get a touchdown with.
That was Michael Carter, you just saw a minute ago, just activated. They're going to work again. For Anderson, incomplete. McKyer was back with him.
Let's watch the play before that. Here's Ronnie Lott here. When they fake the reverse, they want him to come here. He stays back and makes the play over there. But watch what happens. You see, when they fake the reverse, they think he'll come up. Ronnie Lott didn't come back. He read past, stayed there, and made a great play.
Taylor back deep. Hatcher, the punter. Taylor down at the 49er 10-yard line. 4:53 left to play in the first quarter. And the Rams on top, 3-0. The NFC Championship match between the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, led at the moment by the Rams. 23-yard field goal by Lansford. And the AFC Championship game won, of course, by Denver. And the winner of this game will face Denver in New Orleans in 2 weeks. 4 minutes, 53 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Here's Roger Craig into the Rams secondary. Stopped by Washington. But a 49er first down.
That's the place you have to run on a wet field, is straight up. Now, you got to win that first battle. Your center against their nose tackle. You have to get that because you don't allow penetration inside. The 49er offensive line didn't allow any Ram penetration. Then Roger Craig could just come up there and pick a hole.
Roger Craig's one of those guys that we see on rare occasions who can turn it up another notch. Craig, nothing there this time. Stopped by Strickland and Alvin Wright.
That's what happens when the play before you see when you get them blocked, you don't allow penetration. Then you see an example of the next one where you don't get them blocked and you let a big Alvin Wright get penetration and you let Fred Strickland get in there. Fred Strickland, the nosebacker. To come back in some life as a nosebacker.
It's a unique position.
What do you do? Oh, I'm down as a nosebacker.
Here's Montana up the middle to his tight end. Brent Jones. A gain of 12 yards. Strickland again. Here's Jerry Rice. You pointed out before, John. I don't know if he got something in his eye or got hit in the eye, but that seems to be the problem.
I know, and it looks like he's having trouble with the right eye. It's still kind of squinting. And he got hit and came off and hasn't been back in since. And of course, Jerry Rice is such a big part of this 49er offense.
The doctor's going to have another look. First down, San Francisco, their own 32. Here comes the counterplay again. A couple.
We're going to have a football game here today. See what they're doing now. They're looking at Jerry Rice. I think this is a play that had happened. This was the last play he was in. see the screen, and he got it right there in the eye by Michael Stewart. Looked like as Stewart came up, hit him with that left hand. Probably a finger went through the face mask into the eye.
Second down and 8. 49er ball, they own 35. Wilson, who has replaced Rice, split wide to the left. Jamie Williams is the man in motion. Here's the same play again. Chased down by Larry Kelm. After a gain of 3, Craig, the ball carrier.
We're going to have a football game here today, Pat. I mean, you know, they can have Montana, they can have Ever, but this game is going to be about linemen. This game is going to be about mud. This game is going to be about dirt. This game is going to be about championships. This team is going to be about a team going to the Super Bowl. I mean, this is what football was supposed to be.
There's going to be a lot of stuff involved, right?
That's it. A lot of, and not only stuff, but good stuff. Yeah.
3rd and 5. Craig is in the slot to the left this time. Montana gets the ball to John Taylor. James Washington made the stop. One of the rare times that Montana has gone to his left.
I know it. Well, you know what happens? We'll see Alvin Wright takes a charge here, gets penetration. Now Montana comes back, and he's forced to go to. He's forced 1 to bring the ball down, and then 2 to go to the left. That is what the 49ers were trying to do to him. That's what the Rams are trying to do. I mean, they're trying to get him to bring the ball down, get him to run to his left. He did both those things and still completed it.
First down. Rathman to the Ram 44. 9 yards.
Yeah, the 49ers are doing what you have to do on a sloppy field. You can't make a lot of cuts. You have to have a wide base. Your runners have to have a wide base. They can't get their feet together. They can't make crossover steps. They have to keep a wide base and hit straight ahead.
Montana is already over to the sideline. The 49ers apparently are going to let time run out in the first quarter. Montana with George Seifert.
There's Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator of the Rams.
So that's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Rams 3, the 49ers nothing. The winner going to New Orleans for the Super Bowl to play the Denver Broncos, the AFC champions. Congratulations to them and to Dan Reeves. Candlestick Park, of course, sold out for this event. Rained all week long, and then today, just now, bright sunshine has come out. Wallace comes in at left tackle to replace Bubba Paris, and Terry Tausch goes in playing guard. 2nd and 2. That's Rathman, not backwards. Sean Miller, loss of a yard.
Well, the Rams got the penetration they needed that time by Sean Miller. You know, again, that's what it is. It's if the line can knock the defense off, then there's going to be running room. If the defense gets across the line of scrimmage, as Sean Miller did at the point of attack, there's not going to be running room.
Jerry Rice back in the game, as is Sherrard. They show you 4 wide receivers, all of whom are very dangerous. Montana up the middle to Rathman. Enough for a first down, stopped by Kelm.
You watch what they do. They have 4 wide receivers. Now they're just going to take Rathman, the fullback. He just does a check through. He checks the blitz. There's no blitz. Now he goes through. Only about 1 or 2 yards, he becomes the outlet. That's just about impossible to cover, because you have to remember, he's coming out of the backfield, and there's already 4 wide receivers out there that are running everyone deep.
1st and 10. Henderson was the man in motion. This is Craig. The Rams bottle that one up.
Yeah, you cannot run that play on this field today. And Roger Craig is going to learn it, or George Seifert's going to learn it, or Mike Holmgren. But watch what happens when you try and go wide. You try and stretch out. Now you can't cut back. You cannot turn from being perpendicular to parallel on this field today.
That's really the kind of runner, too, John, that Roger Craig is.
Yeah, but he can't do it today. He can't stretch it and turn it. He has to just turn it.
2nd and 11. Montana's already hit 6 out of 7. 7 out of 8. That one to Rice.
There's no one better at running and throwing a football than Joe Montana. Now he's running out. That's the 3rd time he's rolled out to his right today. And look at Jerry Rice. Everyone has so much respect for him going deep. Jerry Gray was thinking deep all the way in coverage. And then Jerry Rice is able just to cut it off and run that out or come back.
You got Gray turned all the way around and then came back to Montana. A gain of 19. Craig. 2 yards maybe, stopped and hit first by Washington.
One thing about this Ram defense, when you run in there, there's going to be a whole bunch of white jerseys. And as you know, the Ram defense may not be a great defense or a lot of great players, but they're a very well-coached defense by this guy with his hands on his head, Fritz Sherman, who could very well be the next coach of the Phoenix Cardinals.
He's certainly one of the leading candidates. Here's Montana back again. Open is Brent Jones. Touchdown, San Francisco. They hit you so quick.
Well, they have Jerry Rice on one side, John Taylor on the other side, and you get so concerned with those guys that they will leave Brent Jones go free up the middle. That's exactly what the Rams did.
That's Jones' 4th catch of the day. Mike Kofer to try the extra point. He's missed 2 in the regular season. Doesn't miss that one. 7-3, San Francisco.
Hey, Brent Jones is a tight end on the right, 84 on the right of the screen. Starts to the outside, then he's going to come back in. Montana gets back. Brent Jones is wide open again because of the concern of the outside receivers.
They all said they were bringing different kinds of shoes and different kinds of cleats. That's Bruce Colley.
Well, the wetter the field is, the more muddy the field is, the longer cleat you want. So as they change cleats, they will keep getting longer and longer cleats as the field gets sloppier.
Kofer's kickoff. Del Pino and Brown back deep for the Rams. That's Del Pino. To about the 23. 11-17 left to play in the first half. The 49ers 7, the Rams 3. Errol Pollard made the tackle for the 49ers. The Rams will take over their own 24. 49ers leading 7-3. The scoring summary so far. The Rams scored first, 3-0 from 23 yards out by Lansford. And the 49ers just scored on a 20-yard pass from Joe Montana to Brent Jones. Michael Carter in at nose tackle for the 49ers. He's been out since week 8.
Well, he had it wasn't a broken right foot. It was a sprained right foot. And it was in a cast until this past week. Since that 8th week, they had that right foot casted, took it out this week. It's only worked out a couple of days.
Everett's going to put it up. Incomplete. Henry Eller, the intended receiver. The 49ers have had the ball twice as long as the Rams here in the first half. And they lead 7-3.
Hey, one thing with Michael Carter being out that long and being that big and that strong, he is not going to have a lot of endurance, so they're going to spot him, a play here and a play there, and George Seifert said maybe 10 plays at the most.
And his place is taken by Kugler, who started. 2nd and 10 Rams. Buford McGee. Knocked out of bounds by Keena Turner and Ronnie Lott.
I'll tell you one thing about Ronnie Lott. If he's going to run all the way across the field and get you on the sideline, he's going to bring the full load. He doesn't come across there and pursue and get all the way over there and then just bring a quarter or half a load. When he gets there, watch at 42, he's going to unload that whole thing he brought.
He's sort of the catalyst, the leader of an underrated 49er defense.
Hey, one of the top guys who has ever played that position.
On 3rd down, Everett swings it out to McGee again. McGee will get a Ram 1st down. Stopped by Eric Wright. Gain of 9. Here's a guy who's been really playing well, especially in the playoffs.
And I think that because of that, he's playing more and more. They used to put Robert Del Pino in on passing downs. Now Del Pino's a little nicked up, so they're leaving Buford McGee in. So we've always known that, that he's a real good blocker, does all those tough things, but now they're throwing to him more and more.
He's caught 3 today. Greg Bell hit right at the line of scrimmage. He might have gotten a yard.
Hey, Pete Kugler played that one perfectly, Pat. Watch him, he's right there over the center. Now what you do is, boom, you take that guy on and then just ride down the line of scrimmage. Don't let him knock you back. You see how he takes on Smith, gets his hands on him, starts to ride, pushes Smith off, and then whap, he's right there for the cutback.
2nd and 9. In the tricky part of the field. Holohan in motion. The rush is on Everett. The pass is to Ellard. Incomplete. Don Griffin, the defender.
Here's a guy who's becoming one of the best cover guys in this league. Don Griffin, you don't hear a lot about him, although he's in the Pro Bowl now, but that is great coverage. He's on him all the way, gets that left hand in there, and knocks it away.
That's textbook. 3rd and 9.
1, being able to get on him and stay with him, and then 2, being able to finish it off with a knockdown.
Picked off by Tim McKyer. Ellard knocked him out of bounds. McKyer came up with a deflection.
I think it was Don Griffin, the first place. Griffin again was there on the coverage. He knocked it out, then it went up to McKyer. We were just talking about Griffin being one of the best cover guys. You watch your Everett's throwing it out there. Watch it right there, 29. Griffin hits it up, and then McKyer is coming back, and he ends up with the interception.
Pass was intended for Henry Ellard. It was Duval Love that knocked McKyer out of bounds.
Tim McKyer had a big interception last week in the playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings.
1st and 10 from the Ram 27 for the 49ers, trying to add to their lead. Craig. Not much room. Sean Smith took him down.
As you say, last year the word was you take away Rice and you take away Craig. And everyone tried to do it last year and couldn't do it. Now, the 49ers, because of that, are throwing more to Brent Jones, they're throwing more to Tom Rathman, and of course they're throwing more to John Taylor. So now you have an offense, and that's the problem. Who do you take away?
A lot of weapons. Outside quickly, Rathman. about the 20.
James Washington is a guy who has a lot of pressure on today because Vince Newsom is the regular free safety. Vince Newsom was injured last week against the Giants, and John Washington had to start as a free safety. The big play here, one, you have to cover that guy, and then getting Rathman down like that in the open field, that's good tackling.
First game he's ever started. 3rd and 2. Montana to Craig. To about the 5, maybe inside. Stopped again by Washington. 15 yards.
That was one of those passes, Pat, where they took away the lane, made Montana bring the ball down, but in doing so, all he did is find his secondary receiver, and when that's Roger Craig, that's a pretty good play in itself. They took away the lane. He was trying to go to the left. He was trying to go deep. They made him bring the ball down like they wanted to defensively, but then he brought it back up again to hit Roger Craig.
First and goal from the 4 with 7:58 left to play in the first half, and the 49ers leading 7-3. 2 tight ends. To about the 2, stopped by Kelman Owens.
Runs in there. Let's just watch this on the clicker. The way he cheats back a little. You see in the stance, he's back. So Craig is going to run it. Rathman's going to block it. Watch, he gets that thing there. Right there's the block. He knows he's going to run off that block. Rathman turns him out. Boom, he's going to cut right back off that thing.
Second and goal from the 1. Craig again. 49er touchdown.
Football. You just take that ball and ram it in there on the right side behind your guard and tackle. Look, no penetration. They knocked the whole pile, the whole thing back into red.
Helton will hold Kofor for the extra point. Good. Set up by the turnover. Almost inevitable. Craig gets the touchdown, and it's 14-3, 49. Mike Peel over on the sideline. Looking at he'd had a bad elbow. They took him inside for x-rays. I assume that was what the problem would be.
That's one of the big advantages of football, as we know it today, that a guy could get injured. They could take him in, get an x-ray right now, look at it, and then determine whether the guy could play or not anymore.
Del Pino and Brown back deep for the Rams. This is Brown. To the 30. Knocked out of bounds by Darryl Pollard again. 24-yard return by Brown. We have 7 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the first half. And the 49ers striking quickly as only they can. Lead the Rams 14-3. Candlestick Park in San Francisco, as seen from the Goodyear blimp. Columbia, based in Carson, California, piloted today by John Creighton. Hovering overhead.
A lot of traffic up there, Pat. I saw a helicopter go by and a blimp and an airplane. You got
and a couple of birds.
A lot of aircraft up there.
Everett. To Greg Bell. Bell still on his feet to about the 47-yard line before Ronnie Lott finally got him down after a pickup of 19 yards.
Greg Bell is one of those guys that is built for this type of field because there's not a lot of them to hit. And most of the stuff that he has to hit has pads on it. And he just kind of pulls all those pads together, and you hit plastic against plastic, and unless you wrap up, you tend to bounce off them.
Everett back on first down. Quick pass incomplete. Intercepted by Keena Turner. A fumble by Turner, and I think the Rams might have gotten it back. Yes, sir.
I know John Robinson is rooting for him to get it back, and they did. That even brought a smile because when you're down 14-3, you can't give them the ball here again because they can put you away on this one. The defense is throwing Everett's timing off. They're getting him out of sync. You see him, he had a pump to the thing. Now he came back to his secondary receiver, and there were 3 red jerseys around his secondary receiver. Of course, luckily for the Rams, Keena Turner fumbled that.
And Newberry made the recovery.
John Robinson, he'll not only coach it for you, he'll officiate it for you.
Jerry Markbright is the referee today.
Sure won't play it for you. But you see again, Turner, that ball just slipped out as he was jumping over. Keena Turner went to jump over and the ball slipped out.
Newberry made the recovery.
What they did is a replay took a look at that play, and then, of course, it stays as stands. It was a fumble and a recovery.
Hell. To about the 45, 5-yard gain, stopped by Kevin Fagan and Jim Burton.
Yeah, we were talking earlier how Jim Everett is a streak passer. I think he started out on a streak, and he started out with confidence. And I think his streak has left him, and along with his streak, his confidence is gone. So now within this thing, he has to get it back again. And that's the type of thing that will come and go during a game.
Well, we've seen it happen. In Philadelphia, it happened. And he came back strong at the end of the game, as he did last week against the Giants. Quickly to McGee. Should be enough for a Ram first down. He's dragged down by Chet Brooks. 6-yard pickup.
And one of the things they were talking about wanting to do is not only have McGee in the backfield and check through, but work out, come in motion and work out, and really have your fullback, Buford McGee, end up out as a wide receiver, hoping to get that secondary spread out as they did.
Less than 5 minutes remain first half. 49ers leading 14-3. Counter play coming. Bell. Pick up a 4, stopped by Matt Millen.
Matt Millen might not get up. He gets the guy stopped, puts a marker there and says, hey, that's it. There's an amazing story. This guy, really? Matt Millen, has really helped this 49er team. He was waived by the Raiders. Then he was going to sign with the Rams. The Rams were all set to sign him. He went to bed. He woke up the next day and said, no, I think I'll go listen to the 49ers. He came up, listened to the 49er offer, and has never gone back.
Not only a leader as a player, as you point out, also an emotional asset. Everett. To Buford McGee. A 4-yard pickup.
It was funny how Buford McGee was kind of a throw-in to the Rams. They got him from San Diego along with Pete Holohan. They just the Chargers kind of threw him in. Then the way they got Greg Bell, Buffalo just kind of threw him in. And these two guys are becoming big players for him. That time, I think Buford McGee just landed on the ball.
In any case, he's down on the Rams sideline.
Boy, there's nothing that hurts more than that. I remember as a player, we used to have those fumble recovery drills, and you'd big old fat guys running around. And when you missed it and hit you in the stomach, you'd let all the air out of you.
That's 5 catches for McGee, and I think that's exactly what happened to him. This is a Ram timeout with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first half. And the 49ers up 14-3. Oklahoma, Arizona at 2. And then at 4, Notre Dame against LSU in the Superdome in New Orleans, which next week will be the site of the Super Bowl. We're expecting, I'm told, about 60,000 for that basketball game. 3rd and 2 on the 49er 41. Del Pino goes in motion. Incomplete in the direction of Ellard.
Part of it is Jim Everett, who's a streak passer, being off his streak, and the other part is good defense. The 49ers are just getting to Everett enough to throw that sink off, and the coverages are just taking away his men in his lanes.
John Taylor back deep. And the 49ers call a timeout.
This 49er defense, again, has been excellent. And the thing they're probably deciding here is they want a defense in here that will be a safe defense. You know, that will, if they're going to fake, will be ready to play defense instead of kick return. But, you know, Jim Everett has thrown 11 times to his wide receivers, and he's only completed 2. So that's the thing that he has to figure out. You can dump them off to your tight ends and your backs, but he is not able to get it out there to his wide receivers.
.316 left to play in the first half. Again, that was the score in the AFC Championship game. The Broncos at home beat the Browns 37-21. Hatcher's kick in the direction of Taylor. Fair catch at the 12. 28-yard punt by Dale Hatcher. 49ers lead it 14-3.
That's all the 49ers wanted to do, was play that safe punt return. They're probably not believing that they're really going to punt it there, and if they're only going to punt it 28 yards, they just want to be solid and get the ball.
First and 10, San Francisco at their own 13.
This is where the Rams would love to force a turnover.
That's great. Wrapped up by the Rams after a gain of 2. Led by Alvin Wright.
There's John Marshall. He's the defensive line coach of the 49ers. He's talking to those defensive linemen, and again, how to play the run, how to stay in your lanes, and how to continue to keep that pressure on Everett.
And so far, they've done a good job of that. 2nd down and 8 from the 15. Montana. A flag on the play. Intended for Taylor, or in the direction of Taylor. Jerry Gray was the Ram defender.
That was one of the things the 49ers were going to do. Joe Montana said is throw double patterns. You know, like an in and up and out and up. A hook and go. And that's what he just threw to John Taylor.
Mark Bright officiating the NFC Championship.
Illegal contact foul. Number 25, defense. Automatic first down.
See, John Taylor was going to give him a pattern. Watch John Taylor come off on Jerry Gray. Now, they called the penalty there. But see, that was going to be like an in and then go. There's Mike Peel. We saw his x-ray. We saw his elbow injury. And they've just taken him in the locker room.
First penalty of the day against the Rams. Montana on first down gives to Craig. And the Rams are there in a hurry. The first one, Larry Kelm.
You ever notice, Pat, the closer you get to the Super Bowl, the fewer penalties? I think that's only the second penalty of the game.
Right.
The first one was on the opening kickoff. And I don't know if they're playing better football or if they just don't officiate it as tightly.
Mark Messner also headed into the Ram locker room. He was injured on a kickoff return. We'll get the 2-minute warning.
All right, so it's a 2-minute warning. 49ers are leading 14-3. It's the 49ers ball. Let's go back to our match commentators.
This to Rice. Overthrown. Jerry Gray running with Rice. Montana, a typical day. 10 out of 12, 108 yards. The touchdown pass to Brent Jones.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's going to be the quarterback because I don't know that I've ever seen anyone do it any better than this guy does it. And yeah, he just plays at a different level, another level, and he makes it look so easy. You know, like the rest of people, I mean, you struggle through life to do things, and this guy comes in and kind of makes a joke out of it.
He just sort of glides around and gets it done.
I mean, even in practice, everything he does is like that.
3rd and 12. Rathman. He will get enough for a 49er first down. Leroy Irvin and Larry Kelm stopped him. Rathman, I think, took advantage of a pick.
Well, the 49ers do a lot of that, and they rub off the umpire a lot, too. The official standing behind the defense.
To Taylor. To the 40. Gain of 9. Clock is still running, 1 minute and 20 seconds. 2nd and 1. To Mike Wilson. Out of bounds, and that will stop it. With 1 minute 11 seconds left to play in the first half. 7-yard pickup.
The other thing about Montana, this is his 11th year, and any situation that comes up, he's been there. And he's in a situation now, a 2-minute drill, although it's a 2-minute drill at the end of the half. He's been there so many times and been successful so many times that he just creates a feeling in the huddle that something good's going to happen.
Just radiates that confidence. Mike Sherrard. There's an interesting story. Broke his leg twice. The Cowboys sort of gave up on him, and now the 49ers are very high on this young man.
And he hasn't played in a couple of years. Last week was his first game. He didn't catch a pass. He said he's waiting for his first pass, and more important, that first hit. There he just got a little bump. But he said playing last week and dressing was like the first time he ever played football in his life.
2nd and 4. Montana to work again. Gets it to Rathman again. Strickland. Jerry Gray draped around him after a gain of 5. A timeout 49ers. They have 1 left. Coming up at the halftime, it's Brent, Irv, Will, and Randy Cross. And also Chicago Bear head coach Mike Ditka joins Brent to analyze the first half along with Don Makowski, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
There goes Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator. Remember last week he went off. The Rams got a turnover and he wasn't there to call a play.
1st and 10. Roger Craig picks up 7 right up the middle. Clock continues to run. The 49ers have 1 timeout left.
Right now would be a 52-yard field goal.
2nd and 3. Montana has a man open. Mike Sherrard again. Boy, nobody operates this 2-minute drill better than this guy either.
And so calmly.
so quickly. Out of bounds, incomplete, stops the clock.
You know, in that situation, you know, people always ask, why don't they play the whole game like that? And of course, you don't have a chance to get your guys in, and the coaches don't have a chance to call the plays. But when you have a guy like Montana, you probably could play the whole game like that.
Yep. Montana is 16 out of 19 for 165 yards and 1 touchdown. Here he is back to throw it again. It's Roger Craig. And he gets to about the 3. Stopped by James Washington, and they take their last timeout. 15-yard gain.
James Washington doesn't want to do something stupid here. You know, emotions are high, but you can't lose your cool. You have to compete until the whistle blows, but not after.
There's a flag on the play.
There's Roger Craig, and you see what they do is they just run down and sit down in those zones.
We have
They
a
just
third
have a great
timeout called
feeling.
by San Francisco. We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on number 61, San Francisco, after the timeout was called.
Oh, that's Jesse Sapullo, the center. Look, there's Strickland there. He's getting a right hand in there. This is a pretty good brawl they had going there.
Serious.
Somewhere they're going to get number 61, Jesse. Jesse's just going down there to protect his guy, but that was a big play because the 49ers were in position where they could have run or passed to get in the end zone. Now they're back on the 14-yard line, or I guess it's the 18-yard line.
Right.
Now that has to be a passing play into the end zone because they've used all their timeouts. There's Mike Holmgren right there. This guy here, he's the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, and he's the guy that calls their play.
And he's also a guy who's been prominently mentioned as a head coaching candidate somewhere in the NFL.
Eventually he will be a head coach, but you notice how this game has gone, this NFL game, it's gone to a game of coordinator. And the coordinator is the guy that you have to defend now. The coordinator's the guy you have to attack.
First down. Back at the 18. Montana for the bundle to Taylor. Touchdown. Drive that was.
They put a statue outside the candlestick of Joe Montana. I think everyone would just walk by it and bow their head right now. You don't get any better than that.
Taylor might have been shaken up a little bit on the touchdown catch, but now he seems to be okay.
He was starting to take his pants off.
That's not okay. 13 play. Gopher hits the extra point. The 49ers 21, the Rams 3.
Again, good pass protection. Now they give him lane. You see lane to throw it in where he can step up and throw and then find John Taylor down here. Taylor got inside of Leroy Irvin. Watch him, he had the ball up, he brought it down, and then he sees John Taylor wide open. Here's Taylor here. He's going to come up and run the post right in here. Irvin just hangs outside. The inside guy doesn't get over, and he's hit right in here with the ball by Joe Montana. We'll watch Taylor come. He's going straight up the field. Now he starts outside, then back inside. See that move he gave on Irvin? And then Montana popped him in that hole. That was a heck of a move that John Taylor made. If you're going to the post, before you go to the post, you give a corner move. Taylor's explaining that now. I got him going to the inside, then I popped it back to the I got him going to the outside and popped it back to the inside. Jesse Sapula, who got the penalty, see him with a big smile there? He's saying, thank you, Joe Montana. Thank you, John Taylor. Thank you, offensive line.
They put together that whole drive without one single pass to Jerry Rice. Over lines the kickoff down to Del Pino. Del Pino to midfield and into 49er territory. That's the last play of the first half. And that's the end of the first half. With the score, the 49ers 21, the Rams 3. He downs it. And the Rams will take over at their own 20.
And they have to get something going now. And